Kelly?
Hey guys, sorry, I can't get my computer to play nice.
Okay,
You're on my phone
Right.
for now.
You are all set to go.
very good. Thank you.
Mm.
Good evening and welcome to the September meeting of the Northborough Conservation Commission. My name is Greg Young, the chair of the commission. And pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, an act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency and signed into law on March 28th, 2025, this meeting will be conducted by remote participation. All members of the Northborough Conservation Commission are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows the Northborough Conservation Commission to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Media Connection on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Dan Clark.
Here.
Justin Dufresne.
Here.
Todd Helwig.
Here.
John Johnson.
Present.
Kelly Marston.
Here.
Sadie Stone.
Here.
Very good. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Vincent Vignali.
Here.
Kaylee Olson.
Here.
Some business ground rules. For presenters and/or applicants listed on the agenda, the chair will invite each speaker or applicant on the agenda by name to make a presentation and speak to their application. Participants will provide their full name and hold until the name is called. Each speaker will be asked to mute their phone or computer when not speaking and to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. Those responding will be asked to wait until the floor is yielded to them by the chair. Speakers who wish to respond to the comments of others do so through the chair, taking care to identify themselves. Each vote taken by the commission will be conducted by a roll call vote. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. By phone, dial *9 to raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Please note that part of your phone number will be visible to those viewing the meeting. By Zoom, click raise hand on the bottom of your screen and wait to be recognized. The chair will ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their names and addresses only. Once the chair has a list of all public commentators, the chair will call each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. A reminder, this meeting is being recorded and will be available for viewing via the Northborough Media Connection on YouTube following the meeting. Kelly, you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
The meeting will include the following hearings pursuant to MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, the Northborough Wetlands Protection Bylaw, and/or the Northborough Stormwater Management and Land Management Bylaw. Notice of intent application at 238 Hudson Street, map and parcel 4691, from Shirley Terralt. The proposed work involves raising an existing garage and constructing an accessory dwelling, ADU, with utilities and patio located in riverfront area and bordering land subject to flooding of the Assabet River. The proposed work will alter bordering land subject to flooding, riverfront area, 100-foot buffer zone, local 25-foot no disturb setback, and the local 35-foot no structure setback.
Very good. Thank you, Kelly. Okay. Meeting minutes from August 11th. Dan, John, Kelly, myself are the ones that can vote on these. Are there any questions, comments, concerns from the August 11th meeting minutes?
No questions.
Everybody's good? Then we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to second the minutes.
Second.
Roll call. Dan Clark.
Yes.
John Johnston.
Yes.
Kelly Marston.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
You can Daddy.
What the
Okay. Public hearings. Continuations. 432 Whitney Street. No DP number yet, correct, Vinny?
That's correct.
Let's see. We have some people here. Got Brian Belfer, and I believe that's probably Marielle Stone.
Yes, we had a request for a continuance on this one, but if you want to discuss some items, they're here for that.
Okay. Going to promote you to panelist, Brian. And same with Marielle.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Brian.
It'd be great to bring Marielle in as well, because she's been the primary driver on this project.
Yep, in process.
Thank you.
There she is. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay. So we started the discussion last month. We still waiting for a DP number here. But we have the full commission. So if we want to review anything or go forward, you have the opportunity, or we can just continue.
Well, I guess I'd leave it to the commission members that were not here. Are there questions or things that you have that we could kind of get some insight on? I can pull up a plan showing what's proposed, or we can just continue it to the next meeting.
I'm good with the continuance.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Fair enough. Do we need a vote to continue? A motion to continue 432 Whitney Street.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Continued.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate
Thanks for
it.
coming.
See you in October.
Sounds great. Thanks again.
Okay. For the members who were not here for last month's meeting, Justin, you alluded to it. I would really encourage you to look at the film from that session to get a feel.
Yep. I'll take a look before next month, Greg.
Okay. It's exciting stuff. It's a good 2 hours, and it's mood music in the back and a nice
Oh,
martini. It's pretty good. Yeah, very nice. Okay, 13 River Street. It's another continued notice of intent. This is the collapsed wall along the Aspet River down by across from Aluminum City, right?
Yeah,
Right across.
just behind Stone
Right,
Cycles.
Stone Bicycle.
No new information. They're waiting for the survey to get reviewed and revisions made by the engineer.
Okay. So I don't see any hands up. We need a motion to continue 13 River Street to October.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnston. You're muted, John.
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Continued. Another continued request. This is the CSX transportation spraying issues.
This is the
It's probably already-
5-year,
The 5-year plan, right?
yes, the 5-year plan. So they still need to come in, and they have not finished flagging the wetlands, but plan to early this month, and then we'll schedule a time to go out and check the flagging.
Didn't
Didn't
we
we wanna get-
establish a rule one time about like 6 continuances and then you need to refile?
This is the last one, yes.
All right. The rule is in place.
The rule of 6, yes. They may have already done their spraying for this year, as far as we know.
I don't know that they sprayed. They are not supposed to have, but I didn't go out and look.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens next month.
There was an estimate on when their flagging would be completed by?
Last month.
Perfect.
I got a recent email from their representative who said that He's just finishing up, and he should have everything ready by the first week of September, and we're into the second, so I'm expecting it very soon.
Thank you.
So we're also going to continue this one. We need a motion to continue CSX Transportation.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne.
I gotta abstain from this one.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Todd Helwig,
Yep.
John Johnston,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Zadie Stone.
Yes.
I vote yes. 238 Hudson Street. We have an attendee hand up. Mark Arnold is going to come in. And this does not have a DEP number either. Mark, I'm bringing you in as a panelist.
Thank you. Thank you so
We
much.
can see you and hear you.
Great. Excellent. Well, we've had an exciting agenda so far. My name is
Yes.
Mark Arnold with Goddard Consulting. Here on behalf of the applicant. This is Shirley Theriot. She's the mother-in-law of the owners at 238 Hudson Street in Northborough, and this is a notice of intent for an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, on the property. I'm going to share my screen. This is the NOI packet that the commission received. As the chair noted, there's no DEP number, and therefore we will be requesting a continuance, but we do appreciate the opportunity to present this. We know this was submitted basically late August, August 21st digitally, August 26th hard copy by DEP. So we appreciate the commission taking time tonight to listen to our presentation. And if there are any questions, I'm definitely glad to take those as we present. So just to give the commission some history, the commission may remember this property from several years ago. There was a fire in the main dwelling unit, and there was a notice of intent to do restoration and pull the building back. The commission may remember this. The original house actually went over the river of Assabet, actually, and we pulled it all back, and kind of everything is now kind of back from the bank a little bit in the back of the existing house. So this project is all focused on the adjacent garage shed, if you how you want to phrase it, around there. It's kind of been let go for many years, and even the gravel area that used to be in front of this driveway has kind of let go to kind of lawn, and so we've kind of taken that into consideration as we've evaluated the resource area impacts to the project. So the back of the shed is very close to the Assabet River. As you know, this property mostly has a bank as an old fieldstone wall along the bank of the river there. So you have riverfront area, bank, and then on top of that, we do have bordering land subject to flooding on the property as well. Another picture here of the back of the shed. You can see the proximity here, and then here's another picture of the entrance, the gravel driveway in there as well. I'm going to jump to the site plan now, and just to walk the commission through existing conditions again. So this is the gravel driveway coming in here, this little dashed line here. This is kind of based on the old gravel survey, and some of it's kind of gone wild, and grass kind of comes in, and the crabgrass is very aggressive in your gravel driveways if you don't drive over it very consistently. But the shed is in this dashed outline area here. You can see on the plan. You can see it's within about 1 to 2 feet of the bank of the river, basically in one corner. And so the goal is to basically pull the structure back. We're reducing the structure footprint in the floodplain. However, we do have a slight increase in impervious surface because of the patio that's in along the front of the ADU. It's about 71, 72 square feet of an increased impervious surface within the riverfront area, but you have a net reduction in structure, which means the floodplain is actually mitigated and benefited by the project itself by removing a structure that's larger and putting in a structure that's smaller into the area. The patio is designed to be on the river-facing side. I'm going to just flip back here so you can see the idea is to have kind of a forward-facing look to the river. It's basically a pitched roof that pitches back. So you have this kind of really nice setup where you have a little ADU for her to live with her family on the same property, and look at the river, and at the same time be able to get rid of that dilapidated shed and reduce the structural impacts to the floodplain itself. As I mentioned, there is a slight increase in impervious surface. And so therefore, as part of that, we're dealing with degraded surfaces under redevelopment under the Riverfront Act. And so we are proposing to reduce some of the gravel driveway over here on the southwest side of the site, and basically remove gravel, restore it to a loam topsoil area that can infiltrate at a better rate. And we're also proposing to put a planting of a high bush blueberry over here by this fence. I'm going to go to that graphic, which was in the notice of intent package in the narrative, just so you can see that. Putting in a shrub over here to kind of help add a little more native vegetation and particularly a berry producing shrub in the floodplain and also closer to the bank of the river, and then getting rid of some degraded surface. Again, this is 1-to-1 mitigation under 310 CMR 1058 5F for riverfront mitigation. As I mentioned before, there's the net increase in flood storage on the site from the structure being reduced, and there's no work on the bank of the river. The work is within your 25-foot no disturb and 35-foot no structure. As dealt with previously on this property, there was existing development in those areas, and the improvement is we are pulling things back from the river. And also, again, the benefit of the floodplain by reducing structures in the area as well. We do have erosion controls proposed around the site, tying in from the building, going around, and then coming up here to prevent erosion and sedimentation from reaching the river. And again, we are looking for an order of conditions, and I know we'll continue, but any questions the commission may have, we'd love to hopefully get those asked tonight, even if I can't answer them. So that way, at the next meeting, hopefully we could have a DEP number and maybe get an order of conditions to get this dwelling ready for the new occupant.
Good. Thank you, Mark. One question I have, Mark. We walked the site this past week. We have a pretty good feel for it. It's the Yellick Farm, for those that don't recognize the location here on Hudson Street. Is the new structure or is the new structure any closer to the river than the current one, or is it further back, or is it net zero?
It's further back. So if you see, can you see my cursor right now?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So this dotted line, you'll follow it. This is the existing footprint of the structure right now. Right here. And then this is an overhang shed right here, piece right here. And then it comes along like this. So the whole patio is pulled back from the structure itself. And then the building is also pulled back. So I think right now it's a foot from the building to the bank, and now it's 2 feet for the patio. And then over here, it's 8 feet to the building. It's 11 feet over here. And that's to the patio itself. The building being, my guess is around 10 feet, is probably pulled back about 5 to 10 feet back farther in terms of that. So that's why you see the building here going this way on this side of the dashed line.
Okay.
Basically, we're pulling it back towards the front of the property, towards the street.
Okay. And so it's a concrete pad as a support. I do recall we had one of these in a different area in town, and the actual company that's doing it was there, and I think they built them off site.
Yeah, this looks like a modular ADU based on the schematics and everything. And usually they bring they'll probably bring this, they'll pour the slab, bring in the walls, basically 3 or 4 like 5 or 6 wall pieces. They'll all come in together. They'll bring in the roof maybe as one whole piece and just basically screw and nail it together, seal it up, and off you go.
Okay, good. Thank you. Any questions from the commission, comments, concerns?
Couple questions. Is the 25 and 35-foot zones on this plan?
That is one thing that Mr. O'Donnell did not get on this plan. So it's virtually the building is the existing building is all within basically the 30-foot no structure right now. I think some of the new building will be outside the 30-foot, but there's most of it is still within inside that area.
Can you zoom out on that? Curious, what the size of the lot? So everything in red is,
Yep, everything in red is the property. So the property is average probably about 100 feet wide, 300 feet.
so I'm curious, why are you sticking it so close to the river with such a large lot?
Well, I think it's part of tying it into the existing driveway that's here. Again, the gravel driveway comes all the way down and dies out right around here because they haven't been maintaining. Again, this is a garage that if you were actively parking vehicles inside it, it'd be all gravel in front of all in front of the garage. But if you don't drive enough vehicles over an area, it eventually gets vegetated with crabgrass and other grass. So part of the reason why I think was to have it close to the dwelling itself, so that you can see there's a front deck right here for an entry into the house, and so this makes for very easy access. If it's raining or something else, and you want to pass between the two dwellings, you can do that. I think that main property on the left side is all where they have their garden and their vegetables and their flowers, which is great for pollinators. I think it's a beautiful area if you drive by it, and so I think that was kind of the setup that they were looking for. And again, this shed is really not usable. So rather than kind of like disturbing that area and then moving something else and then having to do all the restoration and everything else, I think they decided that it made sense to put it there. And it also kind of creates a great kind of vista for them to be able to enjoy the river and be able to see it really well.
Well, yeah, I certainly understand it's a nice view, but just seems to, did you explore other areas or you just settled on that one?
We wanted to put it where the existing structure was. That was the goal. Was kind of fit there. And I think, and again, they aesthetically they also liked that spot. And its location to the dwelling also kind of works well with the layout. Anything else kind of makes it awkward. It also works well with avoiding the side any of the southern portion of the property. You've got 43 feet between the property line and the other structure there. So trying to fit it in means you have to rotate or something else to comply with zoning and everything else. You've got a large tree there as well. So this blends right in with, we don't really have to take down any notable vegetation around except what's kind of weeded around the shed itself to be able to make this fit into the area. So that was kind of our intention. And again, it is an improvement by pulling things back, although I know it's not like 25 feet back.
All right, I guess I'm not convinced. I mean, it seems like there's a better spot for it on the lot.
And even if you can do it, is it a good idea?
I think one of the questions that I had was that there's no alternatives analysis for the riverfront area alteration. So we're going to need that. The riverfront area alteration that they have in the application is just for the actual building and the patio, not all the area where they're going to be moving equipment and moving earth. So they're going to need to revise the application package for those. But that's the big question is, can we pull it back at least a little? I mean, right now it's pulled back 1 foot or so from the existing in the worst location. But there's still a patio that's impervious. There's no drainage calculations showing that there's no increase in runoff at the site. I think it's, does it say what groundwater overlay district this is?
I don't recall that answer there. I would state that this is under redevelopment, so we do not have to do an alternatives analysis for riverfront area because we are under redevelopment. So I can definitely speak with the applicant about seeing if we can pull it back a little more and maybe kind of make it a little more amendable to that. I think we could maybe try to see if we can maybe, I don't know, maybe twist it so it's a little more parallel with the riverbank itself, maybe. But I'd have to speak to them about that. But we do feel this does comply with the regulations in terms of what's there. And if we can update the application, Vinny, to account for the disturbance of the soils around the thing. It's not going to really change anything because those are just existing grass areas and maintained areas, basically, that would be restored back to their existing conditions once the dwelling was constructed.
Which way is north on this plan?
It would be to the to the bottom left. And just remember, the roof of this building does push water to the back of the dwelling away from the river as well. It all goes to the back, and then it would basically be pooling in the back there in that grass lawn area, gravel area before, and most likely infiltrate pretty quickly.
Right. And that's one of the things I was thinking. You could easily just grade that to create a rain garden, and you've got plants and flowers and stuff. It would be a good spot to even have a showy rain garden. It could be a good example to other projects. So it's not just like a bioretention basin that is a deep hole that no one really likes the look of. This could actually be a showplace.
Yeah, I mean, from our understanding, there's no requirement to mitigate the stormwater. Again,
Yeah.
we're talking about 71 square feet of increased, basically impervious surface footprint on the project itself, compared to existing conditions. And again, this all kind of directs it all to the back, which is better than the existing structure, which is an A-frame, which half the water basically goes to the front, towards the river itself directly, which is very close. So I would suspect, if anything, there is a gutter proposed, I know, on the back of it. I wouldn't be surprised if the homeowner started using rain barrels rather, because that's probably what they would probably do because they have a garden. So but at this point, I don't know what they're proposing in terms of that, besides they having a gutter there just to kind of capture it.
Right. And when you say the back, that's the street side.
Correct.
Okay.
Vinny, are there some grandfathering going on here in terms of grandfather rights where there's a structure there already? And
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's a lot of intricate legal stuff, and I think he's kind of covered it. I'm just at this meeting just looking at the general ideas, the issues of concern, the idea that moving it back a little just seems to make sense so that you're not working right on top of an old fieldstone wall that's holding back the river. Because to put in the patio and the slab, there's no slab grade shown. I wasn't sure. What's the anticipation? Are you going to be above the floodplain? And well, I don't know, what is the floodplain elevation? I think it was,
The slab would be flush with the grade. Grade right now is you can see in the back is actually pretty flat. You have 236.3, 236.4, you have 236.7 over here. So most likely it would all be graded out to 236.4 and flattened out. And we've working on this project before. We've communicated with the previous project was done. We were very clear about grading to make sure that they stayed at or below existing grades to make sure they didn't raise the grading in the floodplain. But I think we might be able to move the building back a little bit, I think, to help. But again, the building itself is about roughly at least 10 feet off the riverbank versus the patio. So a little different in terms of how much you're digging for the patio compared to the actual building itself. And again, the patio is all within the existing building footprint.
Hey, Mark, a quick question. I'm having a little bit of a tough time with the topo lines on this one, and especially where the proposed concrete patio is. And it shows the existing garage to be raised, and it says the slab's at 237.49. What is the height of the proposed concrete patio as it sits if we were to construct right there? So what would that number be?
So one thing, let me just see if I suspect that the patio should be lower than the slab itself because it's going to be there's going to be a little bit of a step down. You wouldn't want the slab of the patio to be at the same grade as your surface inside the building because
Right.
of just of water, any type of heavy rain or splash over. So I could get that information just to understand that. And I think there could be some better clerical information on the plans about these elevations to show that the patio is going to be at existing grade, and that the rest of the building will be there. And again, the building footprint itself is smaller than the existing building itself. So the elevation of the building itself isn't really a question. It's that the patio does matter a little bit because it is going to be expanding the footprint of the structure itself by impervious surface qualifications. So setting the patio correctly is important to the floodplain, but the building itself, because it's smaller than the existing structure, ends up being a net benefit because it is smaller.
I was looking, and the reason why I have the concern, I was looking at the previous pictures of the rear, or the current pictures of the rear of this, the garage, and it looks like there's quite a bit of unstable material where this proposed concrete patio would be placed. And I'm just concerned about the location of the patio. And then, yeah, right there, Vinny, thank you. Just concerned a little bit about the stability of that ground and what the height of that patio area is compared to the riverfront.
Yeah, the goal would be again to have it flush with existing grade. So basically, you wouldn't be raising anything. You'd be excavating out material and putting the stuff and having the patio built, so it flushes in with the grade itself. So you wouldn't be raising, changing topo at all. It's basically a cut, and you fill up. You build a patio right up to the original grade itself. In some places here, it might be a little lower than the existing grade just because you're trying to make a flat patio, although you might have a slight pitch in the topography, and that's what those spot grades show. So I think if on a plan revision, I would have Glenn add a note saying that the patio should probably be set at 236.3, which is the lowest point on the back of this pic here, and that would ensure that the whole patio would be below grade. I think that would make the most sense to ensure that we are respectful of the floodplain.
Thank you.
Hey, Mark, I guess my only concern with that would be the first floor elevation of the building is probably going to be about a foot below the floodplain elevation. If we set that thing flush at 236.3, I think floodplain is like 237.6.
Yes.
So, I mean, I do think with that first floor and the way that those doors look and everything in that back, I mean, I'd suggest you want that first floor elevation higher than the floodplain elevation.
Justin, you bring up a good point. It's something I didn't actually totally check on, but you're right. We probably we'll probably check with them about whether or not they want to actually have the building raised a little more, so that way it actually can stay out of the floodplain. At least if there was a flood, if the first floor would be out of the floodplain itself, in terms of surface.
I mean, if they did something like that, I mean, they could do, instead of a patio, concrete patio, you could do a deck on tubes or something, which would reduce your kind of overall impervious area. If the deck would kind of sit up, be maybe like floating about a foot off the ground or something like that, but at least you'd allow water and everything to kind of get through it and still keep the building above first floor elevation above floodplain.
So I'm not sure if that's amendable, but I'd like to see if the other commission members like that idea or not before I float it to the applicant. I just want to make sure that if the commission likes that idea as a whole and is excited about it, I can see if I can float that to the applicant as a potential option. I do think, Justin, that is actually a great idea in terms of just reducing impervious surface by having a deck that's floating. That's not really an issue in terms of the floodplain because it still has capacity for water going through it and stuff like that underneath it. But if other commission members have an objection to that concept, I'd like to hear that now, so that way we don't try something that one member likes, but we have a majority that are objecting to it.
I don't have any objection to Justin's proposal.
No issues here.
I like the idea. I don't know if the concrete, you're talking like sonotubes. I don't know if putting sonotubes in that close to that fieldstone wall is going to compromise the structure of the fieldstone wall, but I really like the idea of having the floating deck.
Well, I think if we pull it back, which I think I'm going to try to see if we can get them to pull it back a little bit. If we pull it back 5 or so feet off the wall, and the sonotubes are usually hand dug. So that it shouldn't have a problem with the wall. But okay, all right, I will definitely see if I can float that to them. I think from a maintenance standpoint, it would be nice too, just to have a deck there.
Yeah, so that sounds good. The thought I had was just verify your floodplain elevation. When I looked at the firm maps, it's between three, whatever the number is, there's a 0.6 and a 0.8. So I think it's closer to the, whatever the number is, 0.8. But just check the FEMA maps, not the old ones. There's new ones that are
Yep.
out. So
Yeah,
make sure that
yeah.
you have the right number.
Yeah, we'll check that to make sure it's accurate.
Yeah.
And if you
So-
were to move it, you could just place those values on the new deck proposed and what the value would be on the first floor of the dwelling.
Yeah, and the slab. Yeah.
Yep. Again, yeah. The building itself, size-wise, can be floated up and down because it's a reduced structure itself, so we're not worried about where it is in terms of vertical elevation. But yeah, we'll definitely make sure we look at those. I know the new maps did come out, but I wasn't sure there was a change here, but we'll double check that.
Thanks, Mark.
Can one of you engineering types help me out? But if the flood zone is 237.6, is that the same as the mean high water level of the river?
No.
So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is what's the difference between the level of the proposed patio and the top of the river?
Well, you've got the river where at mean annual high water is. Every year you typically get water at a certain elevation is the mean annual high water in the river, which is down a couple of feet on that wall, that
Sure.
retaining wall. But the floodplain, 100-year floodplain, comes up and over the top of the wall and a foot or so over the top of the wall.
I'm just trying to figure out in my own mind, what is ordinarily going to be the distance between the river and the first floor of that building right there on the wall?
Probably 3 or 4 feet.
On a given year, the patio is about 2 feet from the bank, and the building is roughly 10 feet at the current proposed location.
I'm talking vertical, not horizontal.
Oh, vertical. So as you can see, this picture here, this was taken in July, so the river might be a little lower. You can see some of the rocks there. I bet the water comes up a little bit more, particularly in the springtime, Vinny. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah.
It floods pretty well. So I bet the water probably comes up at least about 6 inches a foot. You see the moss line right here?
Yep.
That's you're probably close to mean annual high water in the springtime, I bet, because the moss, you can see, doesn't want to go any farther down because it gets really wet. Very, very wet, way too often down below that rock. Same thing here. You can see the stain lines. So I would estimate, based on that and the wall here, you're probably looking at least a 3 to 4 foot wall from mean annual high water elevation to the top of that wall. And again, the house might be the dwelling unit might be about a foot above that. So give or take 4 to 5 feet above the water itself. And again, the patio would be about 3 to 4 feet above that elevation of water in the springtime there.
Okay.
Is that good, Todd?
Yep. Well, good. I mean, I'm satisfied with the answer.
That's
Whether
what I
it's
mean.
good or not, it's a different.
Right. And it's
Okay.
good until we get a
Great
big
question.
storm, right? Right.
Any other comments?
Did we ask, I'm sorry if I missed this, did we ask about the trees?
No,
What trees are staying, what trees are not staying?
No.
I think they're leaving all the vegetation except what's under the structure in the patio, but it's good to get a clarification.
Yeah, our intention was to keep all the trees. The goal is to kind of, I mean, we'll cut out the bittersweet vine, Vinny. I know that
Oh.
yeah, there. But yeah, the intention is to keep all the trees there and to keep the vegetation. The idea is to have a very kind of natural look outside this, not a just raw cleared look outside there. But we can definitely get some more clarification about that to make sure that, and if we pull this back a little more too, it'll give us a little more room to kind of make sure that we can keep everything preserved. But I definitely think that's something that we'll make sure we get you more information just to clarify and confirm that we'll be very respectful of that as we work towards getting this project completed.
Yeah, that could be something we can put as a note on the plans, because it's good to have everything on the plans so that we all are agreed to one thing.
No, agreed. So yeah, any other comments about plan notes, feel free to send them our way. We'll get them on there. Agreed.
Good. Good. Anything else from the commission?
I'm all set.
So you cut everything, Mark, we're looking for, pull it back, maybe the floating deck. and the tree delineations or the tree identifications.
Yes. I have one last question. Do you want a written waiver request, specifically like a separate document for your 25-foot and your 30-foot? Just wanted to wasn't sure. I know this. I didn't notice that in the application that the team assembled. But just want to make sure that that piece, if I don't know if the commission wants just a separate little letter blurb, basically why we're asking for a waiver request, just for the record or not. We do respond to the bylaw in our notice of intent narrative and why we're improving everything by pulling everything back. But just that's one last thing that I thought about as we were closing up here, and just to make sure we have the paperwork in your house.
Yeah, in the regulation, it says there has to be a written request for the waiver. And if I haven't gone through the documentation, if it's in there and it's clearly saying basically what we're looking for, then that'll be fine. If it's not included in the packet, or you can include it in the response or the changes after I give you comments, we could take it at that time too, but we need something.
Yeah. If the plan changes, I definitely would prepare a new waiver request anyway, just to make it more clear and more accurate to what we'd be proposing. So,
yeah.
And Mark, just so you know, we've made a policy change last month. We discussed it for a couple of months, but it's regarding data being delivered to Vinnie, the dates.
Yep.
And it's the Wednesday prior to the meeting, 5 p.m. cutoff.
Yeah, well, we have 6 weeks till your next meeting. So I think we should have plenty of time to get to.
Nothing would surprise me, but that's
Yeah. So, oh, well, the good thing is Glenn works across the hall from us. So that's really great. So tomorrow we can just walk across the hall, talk to him about the plan changes face to face, and he's good at that.
Yeah, well, don't get cranked up on the plan changes yet. I'm going to go through and see what I have for comments. So
okay,
if you want to do it partly, that's fine. But I think there'll be other things.
Could you give us a
end of the week is what I'm aiming for.
Okay, so no later than the end of the week. All right, perfect. Yeah, again, if you need more time, just let us know, and we'll give it to you because we do have some time here. So, but that'd be great, Vincent, if you could get us those comments.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to request a continuance for this NOI. We need a motion for that.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by John. Roll call vote. Dan Clark.
Yes.
Justin Dufresne.
Yes.
Todd Helwig.
Yes.
John Johnston.
Yes.
Kelly Marston.
Yes.
Zadie Stone.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
See you in October, Mark. Thank you. Okay. That is the end of the hearings. Vinnie, we're moving into COCs, violations, informal discussions. Yep.
Yes. Which would you like to go first?
Let's start with the COC first. Senior Center ADA Trail.
All right. Work has been completed. I expect that everybody has been out to the site. I think this is the one we want. So Barefoot Road. This is the as-built plan that we received from the town and the town's engineer. If I get Zoom. So they relocated. You can kind of see the yellow line here that runs through was the old alignment for the trail. There was an alignment that went up and around this way, but the contractor, to save more impact in the buffer zone over here, we just realigned and ran the trail on the south side in this location here, and it was less impact to trees, saved the big old cedar. I think it's an American cedar that's out by the, actually it's out in this area here. Got saved, so it didn't get the old serpentine one that went through here. Didn't, excuse me, didn't wipe out that tree, so they saved it. Everything meets the ADA requirements. They did a steeper slope in here, but used a mat and did a good job with that. This is where the wall was, and this is all growing in and stabilized. They're showing the trail that goes down to a new bench that was put in there with a concrete slab, and they did some plantings around the peninsula to kind of replicate or restore the areas that were altered when they did the work on the bench. That trail then goes around, and the contractor found the pipe that is discharges. So we now know where the discharge is. So if it starts flooding too high, we can, or DPW will probably go out there, find that pipe and clear it away. There was also work done when they were out there. They noticed that the stream that comes across from the west comes in and and turns down to go along the railroad tracks. And the railroad tracks run along this side here. This was scouring the edge of the pathway. So in advance of it having any collapse or problems, I worked with the contractor and we installed a riprap slope on that. So we did some stream bank restoration in that area, and everything looks good. It's now shown on the as-built plan, which is what we're looking for. If you have any questions on alignment, I was going to show a picture of before and after looking down this path here, because this was a tight section because there's wetland associated with the stream as well as wetland associated with the pond itself. So if people have questions on layout, I can address those, but I'm recommending that we issue the COC.
Vinny, what about the cutting situation, grass cutting?
That hasn't, let me pull up the picture and we'll talk about grass cutting. Right now, in the request for a COC, DPW asked to have the grass mowed a mower's width along the, where am I here? So this is the way that back area path was, and before the work started,
right,
the trail was just a walking trail through a lot of brush. Currently, this is how it's been widened. There's a ADA accessible path, and it's been opened up. So the request was to mow mowers with along the edge, the shoulder, to keep the grass and the vegetation from growing back into this path. So it's up to the commission to set a limit, or just say, yep, just keep it mowed and take care of it, and we get what we get. So I would recommend that we set some kind of a distance so that it's established what would be an allowable mowing area.
Is the pond to the right of what
Pond is to the right on this one, yes.
Are they wanting to mow both sides of the trail or just the side on the pond?
They didn't say. They were mowing on the shoulders of the path a mower's width. So it's possible that we just say, okay, we'll do 6 inches to a foot on each side, so they can drive. This was Kelly's idea. I thought it was a great idea. I was thinking you have to drive a mower along, but there's no railing to stay inside or outside of, so they can just basically drive on the edge of the path, and then the mower blades can go over a foot or so and just keep any growth from coming into the path, which you should do something to keep the path clear. There's no doubt about that. It's just how much mowing would be appropriate.
I feel like a foot seems like enough.
Yeah.
Right? We need to keep stuff from coming on there.
I think so. Yeah.
The path, what's that, 4 feet wide now?
This is 4 feet wide, yes.
I put down a foot on both sides of the walkway.
Yeah, so this is what it was. So it was pretty narrow, and people walked through there, but it wasn't handicap accessible. And this is opened up. And so allowing another foot on each side would make sense.
Yes.
So I can make that as a condition.
Works for me. Kelly, you good with that? You brought this up.
I am. I'm good with that.
And then everything else, I thought looked good. They did a nice job. Actually, do I have it here? Nope, that's one.
Do we have any idea how much traffic it's getting? It's really being used? Is it by the senior center and other folks?
I don't know. it got a lot of use in the last couple of months because there was a arts council program out there, and they had people like all along the trail, I heard, and then they also had a grand opening. So I think people are aware of it, and it was a nice summer to go out there. There weren't almost no mosquitoes, so that was always a good thing.
Do you know if they ended up pulling out the hockey net from the pond? There were two hockey nets on the ice. Kids were playing ice hockey. One was recovered, the other one sank.
Yes. I don't know if it got recovered. That might be a job before it gets too cold.
Yes.
Any volunteers?
We'll add that to the agenda in later months.
Okay.
Okay, so if nobody has any issues, concerns, we will go ahead and request a certificate of compliance for 119 Barefoot Road with the only notification they will know would be the mowing, right?
Yes, there's mowing, and then our standard
Standard T's and
that you
C's.
have to do fertilizer according to the label, and he's not really plowing any snow, but that's the other one. They're not going to be doing snow plowing on this.
Do we want them to use fertilizer at all on the backside there?
Yes. Years ago, I guess the commission said no fertilizer use. And then there was something, I saw something in the files that said you can't prohibit it unless it's a drinking water supply and there are specific reasons for it. But in a regular area, you can't prohibit or make any more limitations than the manufacturer's recommendations that are approved by the federal government.
Interesting. Okay.
There's something in the files that I found in passing because I saw that condition, and there is a little history to it.
Okay. All right. We need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by John. Kelly was muted when she tried. John got it. Okay.
Oh,
Roll call vote. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnston,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone.
yes.
I vote yes. Done. Okay. Two violations, 0 Saddle Hill Drive and 35 Solomon Pond Road. Let's talk about Saddle Hill Drive first, Mr. Bruce Oberg.
Right. I'm going to pull up a picture of his plan or an image of his property, I hope. Which one is that? JPEG. Saddle Hill. Okay, so Saddle Hill is down here, Saddle Hill Road or Drive, I think it is. This is located, north is up on the screen. To the right of this is to the east, and that is South Street. McAfee Park is across the street there. This is a little, if you come down South Street, you take a right on Davis Ave.
Davis Ave, yeah.
And then you take your first right down this dead end. The horse pasture is the big old, I think it's Davis Mansion, the house there is on the corner of Davis and Davis. And that's up the slope here to the south. So this is as you go down the driveway. We had a problem with this site here where the property owner was doing some work, and this is a wetland that kind of runs all the way along here and up to a pond, an old farm pond. The property in question is this blue highlighted area, this lot, and it was an old pasture, beautiful pasture area here, and it's not had any maintenance for 15 or 20 years. And so what you can see from this image, which I think this image is from, I think it's a 2021 aerial photograph. And what you can see is some wetland growth along the edges here, there, here, because there's a stream that runs, this is a perennial stream that runs down through here. And this is also, I think, a perennial stream going this way, and they join kind of at the corner, and then they go under, and then they join into Assabet River right across Route 135, South Street. So the work that's being done is being done in this area here, and he's he said he was clearing a fence line, but he's been pushing a whole lot of material towards the stream. And there's actually fill material that was pushed into the stream in both of these locations. One spot over in this area here, and he's cleared all this material here and is trying to make a path over to the other side where this lot comes out and backs up onto some property on Davis. There used to be access across here probably 30 or 40 years ago, but there's a wetland crossing that goes up into the backyards of these lots here. So I can try to get some photos. I think that's the one. Okay, it's in this, the wrong way, sorry. More problems. All right, so this is the area.
One second, Vinny. If folks are wondering, that was a tank hanging over the river that you saw briefly in the pictures there.
Yeah, highlights of things to come.
Okay.
So this is the southeast corner of that property looking south. The brook is right here on my left. Oh, what's going on? So this area here is where the brook is, and this has all been cleared. There's the mower and the stump grinder that did the work. It's kind of cleared out. You can see the back of the house that's on Saddle Hill looking, and this is the house that was on the right, on the southeast side. So all this area has been altered and some material has been brought in. It's not natural. It was scoured. He's kind of got a grubbing machine. It's an attachment to a little skid steer that I'm not real familiar with, but it kind of grinds down a little bit of the ground. So there's been alterations here. This is another location. The stream on the northeast corner is right here. These are skunk cabbage sprouts in that area with some cattail sprouts coming in as well. Is that the last one? Oh, I was keeping it short. So yeah, those are the areas and the conditions that we found, but I have not issued an enforcement order on this one yet. He seemed agreeable and stopped the work when I contacted him, and he was going to contact an engineer. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. This one I did do an enforcement order. There is an enforcement order on this one, and required an order of conditions to be filed and for him to stop all the work. So order of conditions will include a restoration plan from a qualified person. So what I need is a ratification of the enforcement order on this one, I think. Yes. Yeah, enforcement order issued. And if you have questions, please ask. I can bring up any of the other documents.
Where was his house in relation to all this?
He does not abut this property. He is on the other side of the existing horse pasture and horse farm. He lives over on Bridle Path.
Daniel, when you go down Davis Street, you know where the horses are right there, the miniature horses?
Yep.
That's his backyard.
So what's he doing way over there?
He owns a bunch of property.
He's the family that owned the whole corner before they broke it up and subdivided the frontage lots out and the Saddle Hill Drive property. There's some tensions, as they say, in the family when things were settled, and I think they finally got out of court a couple of years ago, and he's now interested in returning the area to a pasture and a horse farm kind of situation, and he wants to be able to ride a horse from another property that he owns on Davis on the other side of Bridle Path along this property, which extends to that area, but there's all wetland and a stream in that area. So it's an extensive amount of wetland alteration, and I have hopes that he's going to talk to a wetland scientist that's going to talked to him about all the facts and all the permits that need to be issued. And he's just going to clean up what he altered is my kind of primary hope. We get the area cleaned up. I'm not sure he would get a permit to do all the other work.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, it looks fairly significant what he was doing.
It's a lot of space. Yeah.
It was a lot of area. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So that's in process, Vinny, right?
Yes, I need a ratification vote on my enforcement order.
Do we normally do that?
It's
don't
supposed to be done. I'm not sure that I have done that.
Well, this okay. Well, it's fine. So we need a motion to support the issuance of an enforcement order for 0 Saddle Hill Drive.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnston,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Okay. Second violation is 35 Solomon Pond Road, which is also known as Desi's Restaurant on the pond there.
Divas, isn't it?
Diva. Diva
Divas.
Restaurant.
All right. So what we have, I think you're familiar with the location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We will pull up the photos. I've buzzed through them a couple of times, so it's not a surprise. This is a new patio area. The pond, Solomon Pond, is on the left. You can kind of see the dead shrubs that were cut. There's a wall here. Downhill of the wall is the wetland and the pond, and that's where they cut the shrubs. This is a new patio area that was vegetated that they never got a permit for within the 25-foot no disturb. This is the same patio, same angle, and you can see the area of the shrubs that were cut, and they basically took everything off this slope. They said that there were bees in this area, so they were trying to get rid of the bees. That was the reasoning. And they also kind of cleared some of the branches so they would have a better view of the pond. And this goes towards their deck that's on this side here. It's the same conditions. They cleared the whole slope and down into the wetlands. I'm not sure where the floodplain of this, it's a great pond, so I'm not sure how much it floods, but I suggested that they need to hire an engineer and come up with a resolution and restoration plan. I did get a call or an email from Waterman Design, and they were contacted. I'm not sure if they got the contract or got the approval for the work, but it sounds like at least the owners are trying to do their best. They didn't understand the Diva owner is now putting this under new management, and it's going to be a Southern Indian restaurant, I think it is. And I know it's an Indian restaurant, and they were going to have a nice little patio here, and they wanted to clear this out to have a nice view, and they had no idea of wetlands regulations, the people that were out there. So now we just have to resolve the problem. I don't think it was malicious. Again, it was a mistake, and they recognized it and admitted the mistake. They've been into my office a couple of times, and I said, we just have to come up with a plan to do it. They want to have an opening, a soft opening, I think it is, next week or the end of this week in the building. And because they've been pretty good and responsive, I said I wouldn't hold up the certificate of occupancy for that. But I put a condition on that they have no activity outside of the building, outside of the building and the patio that's already there, so that they can't use the area that they shouldn't have cleared in the first place.
So, Vinny, where there's gravel now, that was not gravel, it was vegetation?
That was vegetation, yes. It wasn't beautiful grass and shrubs, but it was vegetation. And I only got that from the aerial photograph.
So all the brown why is that brown? Is that the cut vegetation that they
Yes.
threw in there?
That's the cut vegetation, and it's basically cut all the way to the end of the brown.
So they didn't spray that. That's just cut stems.
There's cut stems. I'm not sure if they also sprayed.
Looks like they sprayed it to me.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Because it's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
All right.
But is that the same spray they use to get rid of the lily ponds at the abutting property at the condos?
No comment. Yeah.
Vinny, did you issue an enforcement order on this one or not?
I did not do an enforcement order because they seem to be compliant and trying. They really seem like they had no idea.
Okay. Well, if we don't get a satisfactory response or any response within by next meeting, we can then talk
Right.
about do we need to issue one or not.
Yes, yes. And I know that they're trying to get this place opened and they want to be good neighbors, trying to do something good for the town. So I didn't want to put a big black blemish on it
Yeah,
to start off.
Good.
But I'm not afraid of doing that if they don't comply.
Okay.
So
All right,
just to
so-
clarify, sorry,
Go ahead, Sadie.
just to clarify, that brown vegetation is what they cut and it's just dead. It's not the stuff that was removed and they threw in there. It's not the scrap.
It's a combination.
Oh,
The-
it's a combination, okay.
Yes. So there are, I didn't pull them up, but they actually sent me photos they cleaned up all this stuff that was here. The next day after I talked to them, they cleaned it all up. That's why I think they were kind of doing
okay.
their best. They went and they pulled all this material out of there, and they said, they asked what to do. I said, I gave them a list of consultants, wetland
Oh, nice.
consultants that we have, and they've contacted at least one of them.
Nice, okay. Thank you.
Yep, good question.
Vinny, on Facebook, Casa Diva has said that they're adding Southeast Indian items to the menu. Has it actually changed property hands or
No.
no?
No,
Okay.
it's the property, the Casa Via, whatever it is, Diva came in with these people, and they are all working together.
Okay, so it's still Casa. So it's not like they would have changed property hands and known I bought a new property with regulations.
Right.
Okay,
Right. Well, the old owner, Casa Diva, didn't know.
should have known.
He came in and he wasn't aware of any of it.
Yes, okay.
I'm sorry, I have one more question.
Go
Sure.
for it.
Are we thinking that this is ultimately going to be like an ask to them to restore it back to what it was and remove the patio that they made?
That's what I expect, because I don't know how they're going to get a permit for a 25-foot setback when they are planning on paving it, or it's not like they had an existing structure there like the last project
Right.
that you just looked at. It was existing vegetation. So we want to try to keep that to protect the pond.
Yeah, okay.
And there is an existing patio that they have currently dining at.
Yeah.
So that's out of scope for this.
Right.
Okay.
thank you.
Anything else? Any more questions? We're good? All right. Those are the violations, Vinny. The new violations, let's say we have quite extensive ongoing violations. Let's talk about those. 15 Settlers Road. And that's an enforcement order in place.
Yes, we have an enforcement order in place. I spoke with they hired a wetland scientist, Matthew Morrow, and he is going out to meet with John
Grenier.
Grenier, yes. John Grenier, who was the prior owner and the engineer who did the design for the house and septic system that was there. And he's going to meet with him this week and then come up with some resolutions. Their temporary stabilization and containment was to put in wood chips along the perimeter of the altered area. And that didn't totally work because of the area ponded up. There was the storm that was an inch, not this last weekend, which was an inch and a half, but the inch rain from July 28th, I guess it was, 29th. It kind of blew out a corner of their perimeter barrier, so there's more wood chips into the wetlands now. I didn't go out there today after the storm over the weekend, but I don't expect it to be very pretty. But when they go out there and inspect it, I think we will get some restoration recommendations from the wetland scientist, because we have a map for the downstream property that shows wetlands on this property. Glenn Kravosky did the permit application for the downstream property and flagged the wetlands. So I'm pretty confident that there are wetlands in this area where the area is
filling
filling.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sediment. But they have a wetland scientist on it and are working to resolve it.
Good. All right. 45 Belmont Street, enforcement order. This
Yes.
is the Mexican restaurant.
Yes, it's an enforcement order for dumping. It was, I believe, it had nothing to do with the Mexican restaurant, but because they're right on Route 9 and there's no barriers, it looked like a couple of pickup trucks or maybe even a dump truck full of old tires backed up to the wetlands edge and dumped tires right at the edge of his pavement. And then someone else dumped a pile of family, like a house clearing out stuff. I had pictures of this the last time. Same situation. The owner has not done anything to resolve it. And I talked to the building inspector, and he's trying to push the enforcement to get resolution, because the owner wanted to open the restaurant. He wanted to know what he needed to do to get his license. And so the building inspector gave him the list, and it included cleaning this area up.
Sure. Okay.
Wasn't-
What question on this? Any questions on Belmont Street?
Wasn't that restaurant closed because people were living in the basement? Is that stuff from the basement?
There were multiple reasons, I think, why it was closed. It had a failed septic.
Right.
It had some
some
activity
health
like that going on
violations
in the basement.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just wondering if it was from cleaning out the basement.
No, it looked like it kind of looks like it kind of came out and someone dumped a pile of stuff in a line.
Okay.
186 Barefoot Road, restoration plan.
Oh, that's a site where a property owner did some filling in the back of his property and along the side of the driveway going up. The same wetland scientist is working on this one, Matt Morrow, and he has submitted a restoration plan that I think looks pretty good. I have to mark out in the field actually where the fence, a 6-foot high fence, is going to go, and to stop any future encroachments. I plan to meet with him and the owner this week, and we're going to review the wetland line, what areas of brush or the dumped material that needs to still get removed. And then once that's all removed, then I will have them put in a fence to prevent future encroachments.
Progress in a long time. Progress.
Yeah, this one is moving along, yes.
220 Hudson Street, violation letter.
That is I have not issued the violation letter yet, but I have to get to it. That's the one with all the nice pictures.
Oh, yes, yes.
So it is, I think it's this way.
Nowhere nearly that nice looking.
Right. So I was called out there or by a neighbor saying someone's damming up the Assabet River. And I was like, no way. No. And it's true. The 220 put in this rock riffle. They wanted to hear the trickle of the water. I was like, it's pretty simple. Luckily, they didn't have a backhoe. They just went out in the water and moved rocks and made this little riffle. I talked to them. They have since removed it. So that's a good thing. They also have this is an old oil tank that they've got strapped up, and this is the river underneath it, and this is that fieldstone wall, strapped up little mechanism to keep it supported. And I told them they're going to have to remove this. This is an old burn tank they put in trash and burn it up. So that's going to have to get removed. They seem, again, agreeable. This is the burn tank is behind Greg. And they've constructed this pavilion roof. But that's over an area that was already concrete. And with all the crud that's on the concrete, I'm not sure that the pavilion roof is a problem. But why they're on the agenda and why I haven't issued the letter yet is to get your feedback before I write a letter. I was thinking this roof would be okay to leave because it's going to just have somewhat clean water coming off a roof and going into the river. Because this is a chicken coop, chicken house. What do you call it, Kelly?
A chicken run. Well, yeah, chicken coop and a
Yeah,
run.
the run is here, the coop is there. So, and that's open to the rain, so we don't really want that. And then you turn around and go, oh, did I skip at that one? There's another one. Oh no, I'm missing a photo. I'm sorry. There's one, I thought I had a photo going the other direction. So there's a similar situation with a roof, a shed roof here with a bunch of junk on the top and a lot of like machines and other junk underneath it on the other side of this property. When I turned around from this picture, I had another picture of that. And that one I would want to have removed. And this whole area from where Greg is standing with Kelly to where I'm taking this photograph and back to the end of where that other shed is, I would in the letter ask them to remove all the material and just have vegetation there. They had asked about having raised gardens in that area, and I thought that would be okay, but they wanted to move it to an area on the opposite side to this fence on the right. This fence on the right is about 20 feet, 15 or 20 feet off the water, so that having things on that side of the fence is what was allowed, because there was some alteration in here in the past. This is that's an old concrete slab. This is an old path that goes down to some storage area. So I wanted to try to have at least some balance, get them away from the river itself, get some vegetation in this area, and then allow them to store whatever things they have on the other side of that fence. So I was hoping for some feedback and thoughts from the commission.
I have a question. Sorry. Are there regulations about how close or far a chicken coop or run needs to be from the river?
Not specifically, no. If it were, I mean, there are all sorts of different issues with agricultural uses being close to water resources, but a residential chicken coop, chicken run, there's no formal setbacks other than our 35-foot no structures setback.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
I have that picture up on my screen if you want me to share it.
Yes. Good. Oh, if I can. All right, yeah, that would be good because I'm not sure where it ended.
Is that the one you were talking about?
It hasn't come up yet. There it is. Good. Yes, so this is it now. The river is on the right, the chicken coop is on the left, and the area where he's got all that stuff stored is probably 50 feet away under that shed roof that's new. And in my letter, I would ask them to remove all the stuff underneath and remove that shed roof. And if they wanted to put it on the left side, the other side of that fence to the left, that would be okay. I remember when I was out there, because I was out here a year or 2 years ago, because they wanted to take down a big tree in the buffer zone. So they called and asked for that. And they did everything right. They took down the big tree. They planted some fruit trees on the property. But there was a pile of junk in the back here that I said they should clean up. And they interpreted that as this. So I need to write a letter and make it more clear so that clean up means remove the shed roof, clean all the materials out, and just allow vegetation in there.
Okay, just concerned, I was looking at this picture this weekend, I was just a little concerned about the contents under the overhang. Concerned a little bit about hazardous materials such as oil and gasoline and other materials that are in there. Whereas when I tried to zoom in on this picture and it couldn't get quite what I wanted to see. But Vinny, if you were on site, did you see any of that under this overhang? And should there be a concern?
It's definitely a concern. I didn't see any of that. There is, on other sites, there were hazardous materials, lubricants, petroleum products, but this one I didn't see any.
Okay.
There's an old mower, an old snow blower,
Yeah.
and that may have leaking things, but once we get it moved out, I think we should be okay.
Okay.
Vinny, why is this shed roof gonna go on the one before it gonna stay?
Because on this one, if we take this shed roof out, we would then have vegetation and allow vegetation and grass to grow. The other one is covering a concrete slab that is graded towards the river. And that's where they seem to have a lot more activity. It's closer to the house.
Okay.
And so any spills or any things that might be occurring on that would go straight into the river. This way, if there's a spill in this area, it's going to get, well, it wouldn't be a spill in this area because it's going to be vegetation. If there's a spill in the other area, at least there's a roof over it, so it's not going to wash into the river.
Okay, all right. All right, so that letter's getting put together. Forestry Stewardship RFP.
All right, so we're still working on that forestry stewardship request for consultants, and I sent it off to Mary Wigmore, who is interested in it. Her one suggestion on the request for proposal language was to separate the actual work of the invasive plant control from the forestry operation.
Okay.
She said that including that might be scaring off other proponents, people who might put a proposal in for this. So if we do it as a separate contract, once we actually know what we're going to be proposing for a invasive plant control program, because that the invasive plant control plan will be part of the preparations that the forester will do. But once that is done, then it'll be a known commodity that can be put out to people experienced with the invasives control.
Good.
So I thought it was a good suggestion. I thought if anyone had any thoughts or ideas on this, it would be helpful.
I just had the question on that, Vinny, on, I don't know, maybe this is something that maybe Dan or Todd can help with, but I'm just kind of curious on how they control invasive materials such as like the bittersweet and those vines that we see growing that are taking over, and just curious how that's controlled so they don't come back.
Realistically, you have to likely include some use of herbicides if you're really trying to kill it. I mean, it's usually a combination where you can. I think you saw some of those bigger pictures. I mean, some of the bittersweet can get. So you would cut it, and then you would treat the cut stem that you just cut. But cutting it without doing any herbicide applications, it actually encourages more growth, actually make the problem worse. So realistically, any sort of invasive plan that you're seriously trying to tackle the invasive problem has to include some level of herbicide use.
Okay, thank you.
And you're right, it's easier to hire companies that are licensed pesticide applicators. You know, that's their job. There's several companies out there that they specialize in that. So
Good, okay. All right. Sadie, where's Marley? Sleeping.
Sorry, I was muted. He's right here. I was stealing from my sister.
Where's the baby?
We changed him into his little hippie clothes.
Oh, great.
Oh my
Nice.
goodness, so appropriately donned in tie-dye.
Yeah, beautiful.
Hey, hi, commissioners.
Wide awake.
I know, checking you guys out.
That's good.
He's heard about us. Oh, boy, it's all true. It's all true.
He's great. Everything's still going well?
Yeah, he's doing good. We're just plowing through, trying to
Thank you.
sleep during the day because he loves to rally at, 8
Yeah.
p.m. and be grunting like a gremlin until 8 a.m.
Oh,
Nice.
But
wow.
Very
he's my best buddy.
Cool. Nice
Nice.
job. Good job.
Thank you. Say bye, bud.
Hi, Marley. Oh my goodness.
He's probably gonna
I
hang out
missed
with
that
Yep,
size.
he's staying there. Yeah.
I know. He's a
There's a baby.
month. He's a month last Thursday, so
Wow.
Great.
soaking in every second until these little newborn scrunchies go away and everything else.
Yep.
Huh.
Nice.
My hair.
Okay. Thank you, Sadie, for sharing. Vinny, what's up? Get some news?
I do. I contacted the retirement board and I'm eligible for retirement as of December 31st. So I'm probably going to be, or I will be leaving in early January.
What?
I've talked I've talked to Laurie and we're trying to get the plan for a replacement so that I can work with them for a month or a couple of months before I leave. But we're not sure that's going to happen. But I'm heading out.
Congrats. Nice.
Thank
You
you.
you don't seem
Yeah.
very disappointed about this. I
They do.
probably a little more remorse.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I do feel bad. I'm just trying to hide it so I don't start crying.
I thought we had
Okay.
another solid 10 years with you. Come on.
Oh, no, we don't have that. No,
Oh,
but
well.
it's been great working with y'all. It's great. I like doing this stuff. It's fun. And once I get the disagreements between neighbors settled, the actual wetland stuff is easy.
Hmm.
So
Well, the
it's
Hatfield
good.
McCoy stuff always is there, right? That's always going to be there.
Always, yes. Yeah.
Anyway, we got you for a few more months anyway, so we'll move through some
Yes.
of these things and
And if there's things that you have priorities or want done or have questions about, let me know and I can try to get it done before I leave. And you can always call me. So that works
Yeah.
out too.
good. All right. So next month we got 4 continuations. Anything new coming in we know about, Vinny?
Just a certificate of compliance request on 95 and 105 Lincoln Street. So
Okay.
they're ready to kind of close those out, but nothing else large. Next month's meeting is usually on the second Monday, but that is Columbus Day.
Yep.
So it's now scheduled and posted as being the following week. So it's the third Monday
So
in
it's like
October.
it's 5 or 6 weeks out. It's quite a while.
Yes, it's a little while, right? The
Um,
20th.
Anybody not going to be here you know about? Good.
Hey, Vinny, I had one quick question.
Sure.
Hey, what's the status on the culverts that, Greg and I and you looked at earlier in the spring? And we haven't seen any progress on that. Just wondering what Mr. Pelletier has to say for himself.
I think the situation right now is that they're going to start. I got a notice they just submitted shop drawings for the sleeve and the epoxy, and those have to get reviewed by Scott, the DPW, and the consultant, and they're going to start work I think in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Did they
so
say which site they were going to do first or both at the same time?
The first one I think they're starting with Washburn or Howard Street, south of Washburn.
Yeah.
And then I think the next one they're going to do is the Church Street.
Okay. Thank you for the update.
Yeah,
Good.
no, that's good.
Okay. So next month, for those folks that did not see last month's meeting, Justin's already said he's going to commit to watching it. Check out that section, especially the discussion about 432 Whitney Street. I think that was like in the middle of the meeting, Vinny. Was it in the middle or toward the end?
I think it was towards the middle.
Yeah. So you know who you are. Who's going to do that? That's it. Anything else? Anything going on we should know about? Vinny already set the stage. Tough to match that. Let's anything else? Anybody?
you got a
in
good
your
group.
neighborhood
We don't
have a
need anyone
backhoe
stepping
or
up.
something, or nothing to worry about. Good. All right. We need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you for your support, Kaylee Olson. Roll call vote. Dan Clark,
Yes.
Justin Dufresne,
Yes.
Todd Helwig,
Yes.
John Johnson,
Yes.
Kelly Marston,
Yes.
Sadie Stone.
Yes.
Marley cannot vote quite yet, and I vote yes. Okay. Very good. Thanks, folks.
Great. Have a good
Enjoy the
night.
weather.
Bye.